The night before my fiancée left the country, she promised me forever. 5 days later, she came back carrying someone else's future and told me I didn't exist anymore. I wish I was exaggerating. I wish this was just another cheating story. But what happened next shattered everything I believed about love, trust, and myself. And it all started with a suitcase. I stood in the doorway of our apartment, watching her fold clothes like nothing in the world could go wrong. She was calm. To calm, each movement was familiar, gentle, confident, almost rehearsed. Like she'd done this 100 times already in her head. "You really need 3 pairs of heels?" I asked, forcing a smile I didn't feel. She laughed, light and careless, tossing another shoe into the case. "It's 5 days, not a lifetime sentence. 5 days." That number echoed in my chest like a countdown. I nodded, pretending I agreed, pretending my stomach wasn't tying itself into knots. "I know, I just what? If something happens?" She zipped the suitcase shut and looked up at me with that smile. The one that always disarmed me. The one I trusted more than my own instincts. "What if what?" she teased. I hesitated. The truth felt embarrassing to say out loud. "I guess I'm just going to miss you." Her expression softened. She stepped closer, wrapping her arms around my neck. "I'll miss you too. We'll call every day. Promise. Promise." I clung to that word like it was a safety rope. The doorbell rang. I didn't even have to look to know who it was, Mark. He leaned against the frame like he belonged there, grin already in place. "Ready for the big adventure?" he said to her. Something about his tone made my chest tighten. "It's just a trip," she said, rolling her eyes but smiling. That smile again. Sophie appeared behind him, backpack slung over her shoulder. "Relax," she said, glancing at me. "I'll keep an eye on her." I laughed, but it came out wrong. "Make sure she doesn't have too much fun without me." They all laughed. I didn't. As I walked her to the cab, I tried to memorize everything. The way the light caught her hair. The sound of her laugh, especially when Mark said something stupid. I told myself I was being paranoid. They're just friends. Nothing more. Still, my hand hovered over my phone the entire ride. "You sure you don't want me to come?" I asked, half joking, half desperate. She leaned in and kissed my cheek. "And ruin my freedom?" "I'll be back before you know it." Freedom. That word didn't feel like a joke. The cab pulled away, and I stood there long after it disappeared, pretending the hollow feeling in my chest would fade. It didn't. Back in the apartment, the silence felt louder than noise. Her perfume lingered in the air like a ghost. "Why am I already nervous?" I muttered. My phone buzzed. Got on the train. "Love you," I replied instantly. "Love you too." "Stay safe." I sat on the couch, staring at the empty space beside me, replaying every smile she'd shared with Mark. She's mine. She loves me. I repeated it like a prayer. 3 days later, the apartment felt like a different planet. Her calls were shorter. Her texts were colder. "Busy," she kept saying. "Busy with what?" When I asked, she brushed it off. "Sightseeing. Friends. Time zones." Jake came over with coffee and concern written all over his face. "You're spiraling," he said. "Distance does that." "I'm not paranoid," I snapped. "She's acting different. Told me to trust her." I wanted to. Then came the late-night messages. Random emojis. "No, I miss you." No warmth. When she finally called, her voice sounded distracted. "I'll explain everything later," she said. Later, that word hit harder than silence. After we hung up, my phone rang again. Unknown number. Foreign code. "Is this Alex?" A nervous voice asked. "Yes," I said, heart already racing. "Who is this?" A pause. "I'm a friend of Elena's and Elena's." "She's not alone." The line went dead. I sat frozen, phone slipping from my hand. Not alone. I called her immediately. "Video call," she answered, smiling. And in that moment, I knew something was already broken, because smiles don't look like that when they're real. Asterisk. The smile on her face during that video call was the exact moment I knew I wasn't crazy. I was late to the truth, late to the betrayal, and about to lose everything I thought was mine. She tilted the phone slightly, like she didn't want me to see too much of the room behind her. That tiny movement did more damage than any confession ever could. "Hey!" she said softly. "What's wrong?" I swallowed. My mouth felt dry. "We need to talk." Right now, her smile twitched. Just for half a second. That was all it took. "Okay," she said carefully. "What's going on?" I stared at her face, searching for familiarity. The woman I loved? The woman who promised me forever. "Someone called me," I said. "From your trip?" Her eyes narrowed. "Who?" "They said you're not alone." Silence, not the bad connection kind. The thinking kind. "That's ridiculous," she said quickly. "I'm just with friends." "Are you?" I asked. Another pause. My heart started beating in my ears. "Alex," she sighed. "You're overthinking again." Overthinking. That word felt like a slap. "Then turn the camera around," I said. Her eyes flicked away from the screen. "Just once. Just enough." "Why would I need to do that?" "Because if there's nothing to hide," I said, voice shaking, "you wouldn't hesitate." She laughed nervously. "You're being dramatic." "It's dramatic." I clenched my jaw. "Turn the camera around." Her hand trembled. Barely, but I saw it. She didn't turn the camera. Instead, she lowered her voice. "Alex, things are complicated." That was the moment my stomach dropped. Complicated how? She closed her eyes like she was bracing herself. "I didn't plan for this." "Plan for what?" "You promised me," I said. "You promised we'd talk every day." "You promised I know," she snapped. "But you don't understand what it's like here." My chest burned. What it's like with who? Her lips parted, then closed again. That answer was louder than words. "Was it Mark?" I asked. She flinched, not denial. "Not confusion, guilt. I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. "It just did." The room started spinning. "So it's true," I said. "You're with someone else." "It's not that simple," she said, tears pooling in her eyes. "I still care about you." Care. That word felt insulting now. "You care?" I laughed, bitter and broken. "You're lying to me while I sit here counting minutes between your messages." "I was scared," she said. "I didn't want to hurt you." "You already did," I said quietly. "You shattered me." She reached toward the screen like she could touch me. "Please don't explode." "Let me explain when I get back." "When you get back," I repeated. "So I just wait here? Like an idiot?" "Alex," I ended the call. The silence afterward was deafening. I stared at the black screen, my reflection warped and unfamiliar. Who was I? The man begging for scraps of honesty? The man being replaced in real time? My phone buzzed. "I'm sorry. Please trust me, trust." That word had lost all meaning. I didn't sleep that night. Or the next. Every sound outside made me flinch. Every notification made my heart race. Then the fifth day came. The sound of a cab outside made my pulse spike. I rushed to the window. She stepped out slowly. No smile. No rush to see me. Something was wrong. Very wrong. I opened the door before she could knock. "Alina," I said. "You're back." She didn't hug me. Didn't even step closer. "Yeah," she said flatly. "I'm back." My eyes dropped. And that's when I saw it. Her hand resting instinctively on her stomach. Not flat. Not normal. My breath caught. "Alina," I whispered. "What is that?" She exhaled sharply, like she'd been waiting for this moment. "I'm pregnant." The world went quiet. Pregnant. The word echoed in my skull like a gunshot. My knees almost buckled. "Pregnant," I croaked. "How?" She raised a hand, stopping me. "It doesn't matter," she said coldly. "I forgot you, Alex. Forever." I stared at her, unable to process. "You forgot me?" "Yes," she said. "Everything we were. It's gone. The door behind her creaked. Mark stepped into view, smirking, and that's when I knew this wasn't just betrayal, this was erasure. She didn't just cheat on me, she replaced me and expected me to understand. Mark's presence sucked the air out of the room. He leaned against the doorway like this was just another casual visit, like my life hadn't just imploded in front of him. "Hey man," he said. "Didn't expect things to get this intense." My vision blurred. "Get out," I said quietly. He didn't move. Elena crossed her arms, shielding her stomach without realizing it. "Alex, stop. He's not the problem here," I laughed. A hollow, broken sound. "Not the problem?" I repeated. "He's standing in my apartment while you tell me you're pregnant." She clenched her jaw. "This isn't your apartment anymore." That sentence hit harder than the pregnancy. "What?" I whispered. "I'm moving out," she said. "I can't pretend this is salvageable." Salvageable. As if we were discussing furniture, not a future. "So that's it?" I asked. "5 days ago, you were promising forever." "People change," she snapped. "I changed. Because of him?" I pointed at Mark. She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. Sophie appeared behind Mark, her face tight with discomfort. "Alex, we tried to tell you." She needed space. Space. I shouted. "She needed space so badly she got pregnant." Sophie looked away. Mark finally spoke again. "Look, man, I didn't plan this either." Stepped toward him before I could stop myself. "You don't get to talk." Lena moved between us. "Enough. This is my decision. Your decision. To erase me, to rewrite history like I was a footnote. You didn't even give me a chance," I said, my voice cracking. "You didn't let me fight for us." "There is no us," she said flatly. "And there hasn't been for a while. So this started before the trip. The realization made me dizzy." "How long?" I asked quietly. She didn't answer. Mark shifted uncomfortably. That was answer enough. I backed away, my legs trembling. "I waited for you," I said. "I defended you. I trusted you." "I didn't ask you to," she replied. That sentence killed whatever hope was left. "You forgot me forever," I said slowly. "Do you even hear how cruel that sounds?" She looked at me for a moment. Not lovingly, not regretfully, detached. "I need you to accept it," she said. "For everyone's sake?" "Everyone, except me." I sank onto the couch, my head in my hands. This couldn't be real. This had to be a nightmare. Mark cleared his throat. "We'll give you space." They left together. All three of them. The door clicked shut, and I was alone. I didn't leave the apartment for 2 days. I ignored calls. Ignored messages. Ignored the world. Every corner of the apartment screamed her name. Her mug, her jacket, her side of the bed. I replayed every moment, searching for signs I missed. Was I not enough? Too boring? Too safe? The phone rang again. I almost threw it across the room, but I answered. "Alex," a calm voice said. "It's Lisa." I broke. Everything spilled out. The trip, the pregnancy. Mark, the way she erased me like I was nothing. "I want revenge," I said, my voice shaking. "I want her to feel this." Lisa didn't judge me. She didn't stop me. She said something worse. "Then slow down." I frowned. "What?" "Don't explode," she said. "Observe. Observe. Watch them. Listen. Learn. Let your pain turn into clarity, not chaos." I clenched my fists. "You're telling me to wait?" "I'm telling you to take control," she replied. "Because right now, they think you're broken." Broken. Maybe I was, but I didn't want to stay that way. "Write everything down," she continued. Patterns, lies, inconsistencies. A strange calm settled over me. Fine if she erased me. I would make sure the truth didn't erase itself. I hung up and opened my laptop, and that was the moment something inside me shifted. I wasn't begging anymore. I was watching, and what I saw next changed everything. Asterisk. The moment you stop begging for answers, you start noticing lies everywhere. I stopped crying on the third night, not because the pain was gone, but because something colder replaced it. I started paying attention. Alina thought I was broken. She thought I was hiding, healing, disappearing. She was wrong. I watched when she thought no one was looking, how her phone never left her hand, how Mark suddenly worked late but always showed up near her place, how Sophie avoided my eyes whenever. We crossed paths like guilt had a smell she couldn't wash off. Every detail went into my notes. Times, messages, tone changes. Small slips. Jake leaned over my laptop one evening, eyes narrowed. "You sure about this?" "I'm done being the idiot," I said quietly. "I just want the truth visible." "Careful," he warned. "Exposure changes people." I didn't look up. So does betrayal. Anna came back to the apartment one afternoon to collect the last of her things. She moved like a stranger. Now, no warmth, no hesitation, just efficiency. "You've been quiet," she said, watching me. "That's good. Means you're moving on." I smiled. That made her uncomfortable, maybe, I said. Or maybe I'm just finally seeing clearly. Her eyes flicked to my laptop. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing," I replied lightly. "Just noticing patterns." Her jaw tightened. "Alex, don't start something you can't finish." I leaned back. "Funny, that's exactly what you did." She left without another word. That's when I knew she was afraid. The first crack appeared 3 days later. A mutual friend confronted her publicly, asked why her story kept changing, why timelines didn't add up, why she lied about when things started. Alina laughed it off at first, but laughter only works until other people stop laughing with you. Whispers followed her everywhere. Mark started arguing with her in public. Sophie stopped defending her. The shield cracked. One night I overheard a phone call from the balcony. Her voice was shaking. I didn't think it would come out like this. Pause. No, I didn't plan it. Another pause. Longer. "Please don't say that." I should have felt victorious. Instead, my chest felt tight. Watching someone fall apart doesn't feel the way revenge fantasies promise. It's quieter, more uncomfortable. Jay called me. "You're too close," he said. "You're starting to feel it again." "I know," I admitted. "But I need to see it through. Or you need to stop before it turns you into someone you hate." The next day, it exploded. One of Elena's closest friends confronted her in front of everyone. "I covered for you," she said, "and you let me look like a liar." Elena froze. The betrayal on her face mirrored my own from weeks ago. That's when it hit me. She wasn't just losing reputation. She was losing trust. The same thing she stole from me. And suddenly, didn't want more. I wanted out. That night, I stood outside her apartment. My hands shook, not from anger, from clarity. Lisa was on the phone. "This is where you choose who you become," she said. "I know," I replied. "I'm done punishing. I want peace." I knocked. Alina opened the door. She looked smaller. "Tired, Alex." "I'm not here to fight," I said. "I'm here to end this." She swallowed. "Do you hate me?" Shook my head slowly. I did. "But hate keeps me tied to you." Tears fell. "I never meant to destroy you. Intent doesn't erase damage," I said calmly, "but I won't let it define me." Silence stretched. "I forgive you," I added. "Not for you. For me." She broke down, but I felt lighter. "I'm leaving now," I said. "This is where my story stops being about you." I walked away. The night air felt different, cleaner, for the first time since the suitcase. I was free. Walking away didn't hurt the way I expected. What hurt was realizing how long I stayed where I wasn't wanted. Freedom doesn't arrive with fireworks. It arrives quietly, one step away from the door you kept knocking on. The next morning, I woke up before my alarm, for the first time in weeks. My chest wasn't heavy. There was still pain, but it wasn't drowning me anymore. I went outside, no destination, just movement. Every place reminded me of her. The cafe we used to argue in, the street where she once squeezed my hand and said, "We're forever." Funny how forever can expire without warning. My phone buzzed. A message from Alina. "Can we talk again?" Just once, I stared at the screen longer than I should have. Old instincts screamed to reply, to reopen wounds, to search for something that was already dead. I didn't answer. Instead, deleted the thread. That was harder than any confrontation. Jake met me later that day. He studied my face like he was looking for cracks. "You okay?" "I don't know," I admitted, "but I'm not falling apart anymore." He nodded slowly. That's how it starts. The rumors kept spreading. Not because I pushed them, but because truth has momentum once released. Mark stopped showing up around her Sophie. Avoided conversations altogether. Alina became quieter, smaller. I saw her once across the street. She looked at me like she wanted to speak. I looked past her. That hurt her more than anger ever could. "Lisa called that night. You didn't respond." She said no, I replied. I chose myself. A pause, then pride in her voice. Good. That's growth. But healing isn't linear. That night, the memories came back. The laughs, the promises. The version of her that felt real. I clenched my fists. Why wasn't I enough? I whispered into the dark. No answer came, but something else did. Acceptance, not forgiveness, not understanding. Just acceptance that some people don't leave because you failed. They leave because they changed. And you weren't meant to follow. The next day, I packed my own suitcase. Not to run, to reset. A new apartment, a new routine. A new version of me that didn't wait for texts or measure self-worth in replies. As I zipped the bag, my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I already knew who it was. I let it ring. Because closure doesn't always come from conversation. Sometimes it comes from silence. And that silence felt powerful. But just when I thought the story was over. One final truth surfaced, and it forced me to confront the last question I'd been avoiding. Just when I thought I was finally free, the truth came back one last time to test me. I was settling. Into the new apartment, when it happened, new walls, new silence, new beginning. My phone buzzed once on the kitchen. Counter, I almost ignored it. Habit told me to check. Instinct told me not to. A message. From Sophie. "We need to talk. You deserve to know the full truth." My chest tightened. Not anger. Not hope. Recognition. This was the final thread. I didn't reply immediately. I sat down, staring at the message, realizing how strange it felt to have a choice again. Before, every word from them controlled me. Now, I decided when and how. I typed back one word. Talk. We met at a quiet cafe. No drama. No tension, just exhaustion. Sophie looked thinner, guilty. I didn't want to be part of it, she said quickly. But I was. I nodded. Start from the beginning. She took a breath. The trip wasn't spontaneous. Alina and Mark were already close. Before she left, it was the confirmation I'd never gotten. How long? I asked calmly. Months, she admitted. The pregnancy. The timing. Alex, there's a chance it didn't even happen on the trip. I felt something strange. Not rage, not pain. Relief. So she lied from the start, said. Sophie nodded. She didn't mean to trap you. She just didn't know how to. End things without being the villain. It laughed softly. So she made me disappear instead. Looked down. I'm sorry. I believed her. But it didn't change anything. When I left the cafe, I felt lighter than I had in weeks. Not because the truth hurt less, because uncertainty was gone. No more what dash ifs. No more self-blame. That night, Alina showed up at my door, unannounced. Her eyes were red, her confidence gone. I know you know, she said quietly. I didn't invite her in. Yes, I replied. I know. Silence stretched. I ruined everything, she whispered. You chose everything, I corrected. There's a difference. She looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. Not desperate, not begging. Different. Double quotes. Do you ever think about us? She asked. I paused and told the truth. I think about who I became because of you. And I don't hate that man. She nodded slowly. Tears fell. I won't ask you to stay, she said. Good, I replied, because I wasn't going to. As she walked away, something inside me finally closed, not slammed, shut gently. But the story still wasn't finished, because healing isn't proven in moments of strength. It's proven in temptation. And that test was coming next. Asterisk healing isn't proven when you're strong. It's proven when you're tempted to go back. The message came at midnight. No name. Just a photo her, the old her, smiling in the way that once unraveled me. I miss you, that was it. No apology, no explanation, just the hook. My thumb hovered over the screen. Muscle memory urged me to reply. To ask asterisk why now? Asterisk to fall back into familiar pain instead of facing the unknown alone. I set the phone down. 5 minutes. Past .10, the silence screamed louder than any argument ever had. I paced the apartment. My mind replayed memories like a highlight reel. The nights we laughed until sunrise. The way she used to rest her head on my chest and say, "You feel like home." Home. I stopped. Homes don't abandon you without warning. Homes don't make you question your worth. The phone buzzed again. Can we try again? I know I messed up, but I'm different now. I laughed softly, not because it was funny, but because it was familiar. Different now. That's what people say when consequences arrive. Jake's words echoed in my head. Going back doesn't mean you're weak. It just means you haven't learned yet. I picked up the phone, and for the first time, I didn't type from emotion. I typed from clarity. I don't miss who I was with you. I wish you well, but I'm done. I hit send. My hands shook, not from fear, but from release. She called. Immediately. I declined again and again. Then the call stopped. I sat on the floor, back against the couch, breathing deeply. The ache was still there, but it was dull now, like an old bruise you don't flinch from anymore. That night, I slept without dreams. The next morning, sunlight poured through the window. I made coffee and realized something startling. I wasn't waiting. Not for her. Not for her. Closure not for revenge, just living weeks. Past built routines. Gym. Mornings, bookstore afternoons, conversations. That didn't revolve around betrayal. I met someone. New, not love, not yet. Just warmth. Just ease. And for the first time, I didn't compare. One evening, as I walked home, my phone buzzed once more. Unknown number. I hope you're happy. I stopped walking, read it twice, then smiled. Because for the first time, I was. The end of a story doesn't always look like closure. Sometimes it looks like peace. Months passed, quietly, not the empty quiet I once feared, but the steady kind that lets you breathe. Stopped checking my phone in the mornings, stopped replaying conversations. Stopped wondering what I could have done differently. The answer never changed. Anyway, nothing. Some people don't break you because you're weak. They break you because they're careless with love. I ran into Alina one last time at a grocery store. She stood in line. Ahead of me, her hair was shorter, her shoulders slouched like she carried regret everywhere. She turned and saw me. Froze. Double quotes, Alex. She said softly. I nodded. That was all. No rush of emotion, no tightening. Just recognition of someone who used to. Mata, how are you? She asked. I smiled, not polite, not forced, real. I'm good. Her eyes filled. I'm glad. And I believed her. She hesitated. I think about what I did every day. I met her gaze. Calmly, I don't. The words weren't cruel. They were honest. That's when she understood. She hadn't lost me in anger. She lost me in growth. Paid for my groceries and walked out into the afternoon. Sun, feeling light, feeling light. Done. Later that night, I sat on my balcony. City lights flickering below. Lisa texted me. Proud. Of you, I replied. Me too. Because the biggest victory wasn't exposing lies or walking away. It was choosing myself. Without needing anyone else to validate it. Love will come. Again, different, healthier, mutual, but even if it doesn't, I'm whole. And that's the ending she'll never get to rewrite.